Good morning, class 9. Today we will do another poem, No Men Are Foreign. This poem is basically regarding unity. The message that it gives to all of us is to be united, to live in unity. It says that no men are strange, no countries are foreign. No countries are foreign means no countries should we consider as aliens or strange to us or filled with people who are not known to us. We all should consider each other as brothers and sisters, whether we live in India or elsewhere. Wherever we live in the world, all people have been created by God. Everybody has been created by God, and that is why we all should live unitedly. We all should behave like brothers and sisters. We all should live in unity. All men are same. We all want to promote brotherhood. In this poem, the message is that we must promote brotherhood because everybody is the same. Our creator is the same and we all should live unitedly. Now first I am reading the whole poem quickly, then I will explain stanza by stanza. No men are foreign. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by wars long winter starved. Their lands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other, it is the human earth that we defile. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign, no countries strange. So, a beautiful poem giving a strong message of unity. Now, let us start the explanation. First stanza. I am reading the first stanza once again, then I will explain. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we shall lie. Now, in the first stanza, the poet is saying that no men are strange and no countries foreign. We all should try to remove the concept of having different borders from our earth which separate different countries. We all know that different countries are separated through different boundaries or borders. So we should try to remove all borders from earth which separate countries. How can we remove the borders? We should try to remove this concept of separation from our mind. We should not consider that we are living in India, some other person is living in some other country, etc. And we are a separate country, they are a separate country. It's okay, they are separate. We are also living in a separate area. But by and large, we are all people of this human race. We are all people created by God. That is why we should try to remove those concepts of borders from earth which separate different countries. We should try to remove this concept from our mind. On earth, all will have freedom to move around. See this line where the poet is writing. The land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. So the poet says that on earth, all will have the freedom to move around. The entire earth is one, and all people living here belong to one human race, as I just told you. Inside the uniforms worn by different soldiers of different countries, human beings is the same. Although we may wear different uniforms, we means the soldiers of different countries may wear different uniforms, but they are the same human race, the same human beings who have been created by one God Almighty. Inside the uniforms worn by different soldiers of different countries, human being is the same. All breathe in the same way. All soldiers are our brothers. We walk on the same Mother Earth, and after death, we will lie in the grave in the same earth. See this last line. Is earth like this, in which we all shall lie? That means after death, the end is the same, whether we are Indians, whether we are foreigners. After death, it is the same way everybody gets mingled with the earth, mingled in that dust. The end of life is the same, whether we are living as Indians or whether we are living as citizens of some other country. So in the first stanza, I am quickly revising the first stanza once again. In the first stanza, the poet says that no man should be considered strange, no men should be considered as foreign or strangers. Beneath all uniform, all are having the same body. So he says that whether they are the soldiers belonging to India or some other country, all soldiers wear different uniform of their own countries, they represent their own country, but the human being inside them is the same. We walk on the same earth, we live on the same earth, and when we die, the end of life is the same. We die in the same way. Our body gets mixed up in the dust in the same way. So when we are born in the same way, when we die in the same way, when we live on the same Mother Earth, when our soldiers who defend our countries, who defend our borders, although they wear different uniforms, but they are the same human beings created by one God Almighty. So we should not consider each other different. We should consider each other as brothers and sisters and live happily and live unitedly. Now let us see the second stanza. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by wars long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. Now I am reading out the explanation of the second stanza. In the second stanza, see, the first word is they. They means the people of other countries. They too. They means the people of other countries too are aware of the sun, the air and water. That means the nature is the same for all. The same air we breathe, the same water we drink, and the same sunlight we get to energize ourselves. Similarly, the people who are living in other countries, they also experience the same things which nature has provided us. Nature gives everything in the same way, whether it is giving to the Indian people or elsewhere. So nature has given the same things to all of us. Same sunlight, water and air. God does not differentiate between people. We do farming during peace. See this line. Are fed by peaceful harvest. That means people wherever they live, whether they are Indians or they live in other countries, all farmers grow crops, all farmers feed the millions of countrymen of their countries during peaceful times. Eat the same things given by nature. We are also eating food here, we also have food grains. Similarly, in other countries also, people grow food grains, the farmers cultivate their crops, and they eat the same food which we are eating. Eat the same things given by nature, but during war and during severe winter, all starve in the same way. If there is war, then the bad consequences, the evil effects of war are the same all over the world, whether it affects Indians or it affects people elsewhere. The effects of war, the evil effects of war are experienced in the same way. Similarly, if we have bad weather, if it is severe winter and there is crop failure, then similarly, in the same way, the people all around the world may get affected badly. Foreigners and we all are the same. So the poet is saying that we have no discrimination by and large. We all are the same. We are affected in the same way, whether it is good times, when it is peaceful time, when the weather is favorable, everything is favorable, then there is peace everywhere in the world. But if there is war, or if there is a natural calamity, some problem, their people can't cultivate their crops, etc. So the people everywhere in the world are affected in maybe in different ways, but all are affected and they have to bear the consequences. So everyone is the same and everyone is affected more or less in the same way. They work like us. Who works like us? The farmers. The farmers, whether they are in India or they are in foreign countries, they work very hard. They do lot of physical labor so that their countrymen can get food to eat. There is abundance of food grains in the country. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. That means whether they are farmers of other countries, but the kind of labor that they do is very much similar to the farmers living in India. Their hands also show that they have done so much of hard work. The lines in their hands show that their labor is not different from the labor the Indian farmers do for their countrymen. That is why, again in the second stanza, the poet is giving the same message that we all are united, we all should live unitedly, and we should not consider each other as foreign. Now, the third stanza. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Beautiful stanza, I must say. Now, in this stanza, I am explaining what is the poet trying to tell us. The poet is saying, people of other countries look like us. See the first line. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep. That means the poet is saying that God has given us everything same. We also have two eyes. The people living in other countries also have two eyes. We have one nose, they also have. We have the same structure of our face, two ears, the teeth, lips, two hands, two legs, everything is the same. That means God has not discriminated us on any ground. All look the same. Our color may be different, but how does it matter? We all are the same human beings. We have been created by the same God. That is why in this first line of the third stanza, the poet is saying, remember, they have eyes like ours that wake and or sleep. We also wake up, we also sleep. Similarly, The people of other countries also wake and sleep. They also have the same eyes as we have. The people of other countries also look like us. They have eyes like us. They have strength which we can win through love. See this line? The second line. And strength that can be won by love. We can win each other's heart. We can win each other's strength by love. If we love humanity, if we love each other, then we will always be friends, we will always be united, and there will be peace in the world. There will not only be peace in our own countries, but there will be peace in the world. And to sustain humanity, to live on this earth, peace is of primary importance. If there is no peace, then the world will end one day and there will be destruction. The world will end through destruction, and that is going to finish all humanity. So that will be bad for all, whether we are Indians or people living anywhere else in the world. That is why the poet is saying in this stanza that we can win each other's strength by loving each other. And strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that can recognize and understand. In this line, the poet says, everywhere there is one thing in common, that is life. If we understand each other's feelings and realize that they are like us, there will be no fights or war between us. So this is a strong message which is given in the last two lines of this stanza. In every land is common life. That means in every country, one thing is common, that is life. Everywhere the same people are living who have been created by one God. That all can recognize and understand. We all should understand this. We all should recognize this, that all people are the same. Everywhere the same people are living, and all have been created by one God. So we should not discriminate each other. We should not build walls of discrimination between each other, and we should live happily and unitedly. Now, next stanza. Let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess. Dispossess here means deprive or dislodge. To hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray or condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Now let us see what is the meaning of this stanza. Whenever we are told to hate someone from another country, to think him as our enemy, we deprive ourselves, cheat ourselves, condemn ourselves. See the first and the second line, children. First, second and the third line. Let us remember, the poet is saying that we should not forget one thing, that whenever we are told to hate our brothers, whenever we are told to hate people of other countries who are actually our brothers, it is ourselves that we dispossess. In other words, we are not hating other people. We are not hating people who are our brothers living in other countries. We are hating ourselves. We are depriving ourselves. We are causing harm directly and indirectly to ourselves. It is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray. Betray means cheat, and condemn. We are condemning, we are hating ourselves, we are cheating ourselves, and we are depriving ourselves of the feeling of love, of the feeling of unity and brotherhood, if we don't love others, if we hate people of other countries. Remember, we who take arms against each other, it is the human earth that we defile. The poet is saying that if we take arms against each other, if we take up arms to destroy each other, then we are not destroying each other. We are destroying our Mother Earth. We are defiling. Defiling means pollute. We are polluting our Mother Earth. We are causing harm to our Mother Earth, where we all human beings have taken birth. We are born here. So it is our duty to live here peacefully, to maintain the spirit of unity and brotherhood rather than develop a spirit of hatred, jealousy, or coming at war with each other, taking up arms against each other. We should not do all this, because if we are doing this, we are not only going to cause harm to ourselves, but we are also going to cause harm to our Mother Earth, and we will pollute the earth. Now listen to the explanation. We should stay away from negativity. We should not consider anyone as enemy. War is not in our favor. Always remember that war kills everybody. War is not in favor of anybody. War only causes destruction. The end result of any war is destruction, is you can say defiling our Mother Earth, finishing the natural resources, killing lives. So the end result is only destruction and nothing else. War is not in our favor. When we pick up a weapon, we must remember one thing. We must remember one thing, that taking up arms against one another is only going to bring destruction, and it is only going to pollute our Mother Earth. It will cause destruction on earth. So we should never take up arms against each other, and we should always try to live peacefully, unitedly. Then only we can spread happiness in the world. Now come to the last stanza. It is the human earth that we defile. This line, children, is the continuation of the previous line which I have explained just now. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence. Outrage the innocence means violate the purity of. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Now let us see what the last stanza means. Defile means pollute, I have told you earlier. Outrage the innocence of means violate the purity of. Explanation is, when we pick up weapons, we make our earth dirty. We pollute our Mother Earth. Weapons kill people. Bodies fall on earth and makes it dirty. Lot of bloodshed, fire and death makes our earth impure. Lot of bloodshed, fire and death makes our earth impure. See this line, children. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. That means if there is dust everywhere, if there is destruction, dust here signifies destruction and death. If we see dead bodies lying everywhere, if we see people are dying, they are turning into dust, there is fire everywhere. Fire also kills people. It destroys things, isn't it? Fire can be a boon as well as a bane. So if we see that fire is destroying everything, the people are dying, they are taking up arms against one another, they are trying to kill humanity, they are trying to kill people, the dead bodies of people are lying everywhere. So what will happen? This will destroy the purity of our earth, and also it will destroy the purity of our air, the air which we breathe. Everywhere the same air is being breathed by human race. So the air which we breathe, the pure air which we breathe, gets impure. It becomes impure. The purity of the air is violated. If we have fire all around, if we have dust all around, then there will be more of pollution and the air around us will become impure. Fire of war which erupts, smoke that comes out, dust flies in the air, everything pollutes the air. Just now I told you that if there is fire, now fire here does not simply means fire. It is the fire due to war. When there is war, if there will be war and there is fire, all fire here again signifies destruction. When there will be war, there will be fire all around, because people will take up weapons against each other. People will take up arms against each other. There will be fire everywhere, and out of that fire there will be smoke all around. That is why the air will be polluted. Due to that smoke, due to the dust, due to fire, the air around us will be polluted and we will cause harm to the purity of air. That is why we should never indulge in war. See the last line? I am reading the second last and the last line once again. Of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. So the poet concludes the poem by saying that we must not forget that no men are foreign and no country is strange. All men are equal. We are not foreigners. Foreigners here means strangers. We should not consider ourselves as strangers. We should consider ourselves the same human beings created by one God. God has created us all. We are living on the same earth. We are consuming the same natural resources. We have the same sun for everybody. We breathe the same air. We drink the same water. Our soldiers wear the same uniform. Or maybe their bodies inside are different. That means the color of their skin may be different. But they are the same soldiers who lay down their lives for the safety of their countrymen, to protect their country. Similarly, the farmers, whether they are Indian farmers or farmers in other countries, all farmers are very hardworking. They work very hard to cultivate crops so that their countrymen can be given food grains. And there is no shortage of food grains in the country. They work so hard. The lines in the hands of their palms show the amount of hard work the farmers do. So, and then the poet says that we have the same eyes. We have the same eyes who wake up. The eyes sleep, then they wake up also. Then we have the same land in common where we are born. We have the same land where we will mingle in the same dust. So when our process of taking birth and the life coming to an end, when everything is so much common, when everything is so similar, so why should we consider each other as strangers? We should never consider each other as strangers. We should live unitedly, we should live peacefully, and should promote the spirit of unity and brotherhood. So with this strong message, this poem comes to an end. Now children, there are some questions also. First of all, you should know who has written this poem. James Kirkup. As I have been telling you children earlier also, that for your online test, please read things in detail. In every chapter, you should know every detail, starting from the first line till the last line of the lesson. Whatever minutest detail you think can be framed into a multiple choice question, prepare that. Because multiple choice questions are sometimes very risky to attempt, because if you will do guesswork, then your guess may go wrong and you will lose marks in that case. So in order to score well, you should do a thorough reading of the chapters. Similarly, in the poem, all poems, you should know the meaning of the poem. You should know what all words in the poem mean. Any particular word can be taken. For example, I am giving you one example. See the second stanza. First word, they. Now, any question can be framed, multiple choice question can be framed from this. Here, in this line, I will give you the whole line, for example, and I can ask you, they stands for Indian farmers. Second option, foreigners. Third option, Indian industrialists. Fourth option, none of these. So your option, the second option is your correct answer. Similarly, you should know the poet's name for all the poems. Learn the poet's name for all the poems. Each small and big detail of all poems, all lessons, whether they are of reader or they are of supplementary reader, should be properly known to you. Then in grammar, all the concepts, all the rules should be properly revised by you, because any new sentence can be given to you, and on the basis of the rules, any multiple choice question can be formed. So if you know the rules properly, you will have no problems, you will not get stuck anywhere.